Have you ever felt like you're chasing something, but it just keeps slipping away? Like you're holding water in your hands, and no matter how tight you grip, it's gone? That's what it feels like when she gives you just enough to keep you around, but never enough to feel chosen. Let's be real. It hurts. But here's the part that stings even more. You're letting it happen. She sends a little text. You smile. You feel hope. Then she disappears for hours, maybe even days. Your heart starts racing. You stare at your phone. You tell yourself, she's probably busy, right? But deep inside, something doesn't feel right. You check your messages again. Still nothing. Your chest feels heavy. You start wondering, did I say something wrong? Should I double text? Call her? Apologize for something I didn't even do? This, my friend, this is not love. It's not care. It's not a relationship, and it's a trap. And the worst part, it's a trap you walked into. Because you were taught to be the nice guy, to always give, to always chase, to always prove your worth. But what if I told you that's the exact reason she doesn't value you? She's not confused. She's calculated. She knows you're hooked. She knows if she disappears, you'll come chasing. She gives you crumbs and watches you beg. And the moment you start expecting more, she pulls away again. It's like emotional fishing. She tosses out a little bait, then watches you squirm. Here's what no one tells you. She can't string you along if you stop holding the string. Let that hit your chest like thunder. You break the cycle by doing what scares most men. You stop reacting. You stop chasing. You stop dancing for someone who won't even clap for you. Instead, you get quiet. You get focused. You go still. Not because you're playing games, but because your energy is too sacred to waste on confusion. She doesn't need more texts from you. She needs your absence, not as punishment, but as a mirror, to show her what it feels like to miss you, to wonder about you, to realize your presence wasn't something to play with. It was a gift. So stop letting her leave you hanging. Stop giving when you get nothing. Stop starving your soul just to feed her ego. You are not here to be her backup plan. You are here to be a man of value. And when you finally walk away from crumbs, that's when she'll feel your silence louder than any words. Your calm silence is louder than her drama. What if I told you the most powerful thing you can say to a woman is nothing at all? Not silence out of fear, but silence out of strength. While she's throwing emotional storms, you stay still. While she's testing you with confusion, you stay grounded. This isn't weakness. This is the kind of silence that makes a woman nervous. Why? Because she's used to men reacting, but not you, not anymore. She's pulling away again. You feel the sting, that tight feeling in your chest, that twist in your gut. It's like something's wrong, but you don't know what. She didn't text. She didn't call. Or worse, she sent a cold reply like K or LOL. And now your brain is racing 100 miles per hour. What did I do? Should I fix this? Should I say something? Anything? But here's the move she's not expecting. You stay quiet. Not because you're scared, but because you're centered. You're not begging. You're not chasing. You're observing. That's the Stoic way. You don't try to fix something she's intentionally breaking. You don't try to save what she's casually throwing away. Instead, you let her feel the weight of your absence. Because guess what? When a man who used to give energy stops, the silence hits harder than any angry text ever could. Most men crumble when they feel tension. They want to clear the air. They want to fix it. They want peace so badly, they'll sacrifice their dignity just to get a like or a smile. But the Stoic man? He waits. He watches. And he chooses peace. Not with her, but within himself. This doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care more about yourself than someone who's clearly trying to confuse you. It means you understand. She's not testing your words. She's testing your mind. And when she sees that her little games don't shake you, when she sees that you don't chase after her attention like a child reaching for candy, she starts wondering, wait, did I lose him? That's the power of stillness. That's the shockwave of self-control. She wants to feel power by making you dance. But when you refuse to dance, she starts to feel her own discomfort. And that's when the shift begins. That's when she starts chasing. That's when she starts asking questions. Because your calm makes her curious. And your silence, it makes her afraid she messed up. So the next time she disappears, the next time she gives you crumbs, the next time she plays hot and cold, don't fight. Don't beg. Don't even flinch. Just get silent. Because when your silence is strong, it makes the loudest noise in her heart. Build the kingdom first, then let her knock. She's not ignoring you because she's too busy. She's ignoring you because she knows you're not. Yeah, that hit, didn't it? If your whole life feels like it's about her, she'll start acting like you don't exist. But the moment you stop watching her world and start building your own, that's when she'll start asking, wait, where is he going without me? Let's be real. If you had your own mission, your own vision, your own path, you wouldn't be sitting there, staring at your phone, waiting for a little ping from her. You wouldn't be counting the hours since her last message. You wouldn't be wondering what she's doing, or who she's with, or why she's been weird all week. You know why? Because you'd be too busy building something powerful. You'd be focused. You'd be driven. And that drive is what makes you magnetic. See, most guys chase a woman like she's the prize. They give her their attention, their energy, their time, without realizing she hasn't earned any of it. And once she feels like your world revolves around her, she starts to get bored. Fast. Because deep down, she doesn't want to be your whole world. She wants to be part of a world you've already created. a world with purpose, a world with goals, a world where you're the king and she's lucky just to be in the castle. Listen to me carefully. The most attractive thing you can do is become a man who is hard to distract when your focus is sharp, when your time is valuable, when your goals come first. She feels it. She feels the shift. And suddenly, she's the one who's unsure, not you. Now here's the twist. This isn't fake. You're not acting busy. You're not pretending to care less. You actually don't have time for her games because you're creating something real. You're at the gym. You're working your mind. You're handling your money. You're leveling up day by day. And guess what happens next? She notices. Not because you told her, but because she feels your energy is somewhere else now. And that unknown, that mystery, that where did he go feeling, it drives her wild. So stop chasing, start creating. Let her see you walking toward a future that doesn't beg her to come along. Because when a man builds his kingdom in silence, that's when the queen comes knocking. And oh, silence is loud. Let her mind do the chasing. Do you know what's louder than words? Your silence. When you don't text back right away. When you don't respond like she expected. Her mind starts spinning like a storm. What's he doing? Why hasn't he replied yet? Is he with someone else? And just like that, her emotions start chasing you. Hard. Most guys feel a panic when she goes quiet. They freak out. They overthink. They text first. They double text. They apologize. They chase. And just like that, they lose their power. But the Stoic man, he stays still. He doesn't react. He doesn't rush. He waits calmly. Because he knows this. Every second of silence makes her wonder more. Here's a little truth no one tells you. Women live in emotion. They fall for the man who makes them feel something. Not the man who explains everything. Not the man who over-communicates. Not the man who sends long paragraphs. They fall for the mystery, for the unpredictability, for the tension. And that tension is built in your silence. When you delay your reply, not to play games, but because you're busy living, you do something huge without saying a word. You show her, I'm not sitting here waiting for you. I have a life. I move with purpose, not desperation. And you know what that does? It flips the script. She starts looking at her phone. She starts waiting. She starts wondering, did I say something wrong? Is he over me? Did I lose him? And that curiosity becomes emotional glue. Now let's be clear. You're not ghosting her. You're not being rude. You're not trying to make her feel bad. You're just not addicted to responding. You're not dancing every time she whistles. Because you're a stoic, calm, solid, focused. And she'll feel that. Even in your silence, especially in your silence. So the next time she texts you something confusing, or cold, or even sweet, don't rush. Don't overthink. Just breathe. Wait. Move slow. Let her imagination run wild. Let her chase you through the questions in her own head. Because when she can't read you, she'll keep reading into you. Again and again and again. She can feel when you don't need her. And that's when she wants you. What if I told you? The moment you stop needing her is the moment she starts needing you. Sounds crazy, right? But listen. Women can sense when a man is emotionally hooked. They feel it in your texts, in your voice, in your energy. And when you need them too much, they slowly start pulling away. But when you stop chasing, stop begging, stop caring so deeply, she suddenly starts looking at you differently. With curiosity, with emotion, with desire. Let's break this down like we're sitting across from each other, heart to heart. Neediness smells like fear, and fear is not attractive. When you're always showing up fast, when you're always available, when your mood depends on how she acts, she feels like she owns your emotions. And guess what happens when someone feels like they own you? They stop valuing you. But the exact moment, you decide, I don't need her to be happy. I have a life that excites me. I'll be fine with or without her. Something magical happens. You feel lighter, calmer, stronger, and she feels that change like a shift in the wind. Suddenly, you're not the same man she thought she had figured out. You're different, mysterious, powerful. She starts thinking, why isn't he chasing me? Why doesn't he care as much anymore? What did I do? And that's when she leans in, because she misses the attention you used to give so easily. But now, it's not hers by default. Now she has to earn it. And deep down, that's what she respects. Not the man who gives everything for free, but the man who gives nothing unless it's deserved. That's the Stoic man. That's you now. You're not cruel. You're just centered. Not emotional, not reactive. Just clear. You don't chase love. You become love. You don't seek validation. You carry your own approval in your soul. So from now on, ask yourself this every day. If she walked away tomorrow, would I still be proud of the man I am today? If the answer is yes, she'll feel it, and she'll come closer. Because that's the energy of a rare man, the kind she doesn't forget, the kind she can't replace, the kind she starts to crave. The power of silence. When you say nothing, but she feels everything. Have you ever noticed something strange? When you go silent, she starts to talk more. When you stop reaching out, she starts checking in. When you say nothing at all, she begins to wonder everything. Why does this happen? Because silence is louder than words. And when a man goes quiet, not in anger, not in fear, but in power, it shakes her world. See, most men panic when she pulls away. They start texting more, asking questions, begging for closeness, but not you. Not anymore. Because now you understand this. When your energy becomes quiet, calm, unbothered, she doesn't feel ignored. She feels your absence. And your absence? It hits different. It makes her brain race. Is he done with me? Why isn't he chasing anymore? Wait, did I just lose him? You're not being rude. You're not being cold. You're simply being stoic. You're not chasing. You're choosing peace. You're not silent because you're weak. You're silent because you're strong enough not to fight for crumbs. Women don't remember the man who talked too much. They remember the one who left them wondering, who stayed a mystery, who gave less, but meant more. That's the art of presence without pursuit. You're still there, still confident, still living your life like a king, but not handing out your energy like candy. And here's the crazy part. The less she hears from you, the more she hears about you in her own head. She imagines what you're doing, who you're with, why you haven't called. And suddenly, her emotions do all the chasing for you. Your silence becomes a mirror. She sees herself clearly in it, her games, her doubts, her delay. And if she values you, really values you, she'll come back different, more open, more present, more respectful. But if she doesn't, then silence just saved you from years of wasted effort. So remember, you don't always need the perfect words. Sometimes, the most powerful move you can make is to say nothing at all. Let her feel your peace. Let her sit with your silence. And let her decide if she wants to earn her place in your world. Unpredictability, the secret switch that turns curiosity into craving. What makes someone unforgettable? It's not their looks, not their money. It's that you never knew what they'd do next. Mystery is like magic. It pulls people in. And guess what? Women don't chase men who are nice. They chase the ones who make them think, guess, and wonder. Why does he feel so far, even when he's near? Why is he calm when I try to make him jealous? Why do I want him more when he gives me less? That's the secret, unpredictability. When she can't figure you out, her emotions get hooked. It's like her brain can't look away. Most guys are too easy to read. They text back fast. They always say yes. They explain themselves too much. But the man with stoic energy, he's calm. He's focused. Sometimes he's quiet. Sometimes he's deep. Sometimes he disappears. Not to play games, but because he's busy building. She can't predict him, and that confuses her attraction into obsession. This doesn't mean being rude or being cold. It means you live your life so fully, so deeply, that she never knows what version of you she's going to get next. Sometimes you're light and playful. Other times you're deep and intense. Sometimes you give her attention, and sometimes you're busy chasing your purpose. And that's what makes her chase you. Because here's the truth. If she always knows what you'll say, if you always say yes, if you're always available, then you stop being exciting. But when your life is rich, Your time is scarce, and your presence feels like a reward. You become addictive. She starts checking her phone, wondering when she'll hear from you. She starts dressing better when she sees you. She starts showing up more, giving more, asking more. Why? Because now you're the prize. You're not chasing her. You're on your own path, and she just wants to be part of it. So make this your code. Be unpredictable. Be present, but never too easy. Stay grounded. Stay powerful. Stay stoic. Let her feel the tension. Let her miss the parts of you she doesn't understand. Because mystery, that's the spark that keeps the fire burning. Emotional distance. The fire that melts her coldness. Have you ever pulled back just a little, and suddenly she started reaching out like never before? Almost like she woke up? That's not a trick. That's the power of emotional distance. And if you use it the right way, it will flip the entire game upside down. Here's what most men do when they feel her pulling away. They try harder. They text more. They check in. They want answers. But that's exactly what pushes her further away. Why? Because chasing screams neediness. And neediness is a fire extinguisher for attraction. But when you choose emotional distance, not because you're mad, but because you value your own peace, that's when everything changes. Emotional distance doesn't mean you ignore her. It means you stop feeding her silence with your overreactions. You stop begging for her crumbs. You stop giving energy to someone who doesn't respect it. You create space, not to punish her, but to protect your focus, your calm, and your power. And something wild happens. The moment she feels that you're not emotionally available on command, that you're no longer emotionally addicted, that her coldness doesn't shake your core, she starts to feel warm again. She starts to wonder what you're doing, who has your attention, why you don't seem as affected as before. Her mind starts spinning. Her walls start falling. And guess what? She starts coming toward you. Because here's the twist. People value what they can't control. And when you become calmly unavailable, you stop being the chaser and become the prize. You stop living in her emotional weather and instead build your own sky. And that kind of power, she feels it even in silence. So the next time you feel her go cold, don't chase, don't panic, don't overthink. Just step back with calm energy and let the silence speak louder than your words. Let her feel what life is like without your warmth. Because emotional distance isn't rejection. It's respect for yourself. Tao, give her just enough. Then vanish like smoke. What if I told you the way to stay in her heart is to never fully be there, to leave a little piece of you missing, just enough to make her wonder, where did he go? Why do I miss him so much? This isn't about being fake. This is about being smart. Men who are always available, who always answer fast, who always say yes, get forgotten faster than a text with no reply. Why? Because there's no mystery. When you're always there, there's no chase. When there's no chase, there's no fire. And women need that fire. They need curiosity. They need space to feel that longing. So how do you do it? You show up just enough to be remembered, but not enough to be taken for granted. You leave her with a feeling, not just words. A glance, a tone in your voice, a confident walk away. And then you disappear for a while, not to play games, but to live, to work, to grow, to focus. This makes you scarce. And guess what? Scarcity creates value. It makes her sit on her bed at night, phone in hand, staring at your last message, rereading your words, missing your energy, and thinking, why am I so into him? You didn't force it. You didn't chase it. You simply became a man of movement, a man who appears with impact and vanishes with power. That's the man she remembers. That's the man she replays in her head when other guys seem boring. That's the man who becomes the story she can't let go of. She won't say it out loud, but deep down she loves the uncertainty. The final power move. Be the story she can't finish. What if the greatest move you ever make is to leave her with a question instead of a full answer? To become the unfinished story that keeps spinning in her mind over and over while she lies in bed, staring at the ceiling, whispering, "What was that man thinking?" See, most men, they want to explain everything, to talk it out, to fix it, to prove themselves, to chase, and that's exactly why she forgets them. Because it's predictable, it's boring, it's weak. But you're not like that. You know when to pause, when to walk away calmly, when to let the silence speak louder than 100 words. You don't throw tantrums. You don't beg. You don't ask, why don't you care? You simply detach without drama. And that's when it hits her. That strange feeling, that ache, that whisper in her head that says, wait, did I lose something rare? This is how you keep your aura. This is how you protect your power. You stay centered, peaceful, unshaken. You don't try to make her feel bad. You don't post to make her jealous. You don't send long texts to explain your worth. You just exit like a mystery. And that mystery becomes your weapon. Because now, you're not just a guy she knew. You're the one she can't stop thinking about. The one who didn't need her. The one who lived by purpose. The one who made her feel more by doing less. The Stoic man doesn't chase attention. He commands it by living his truth. He doesn't ask for love. He becomes the kind of man love wants to chase. So now you know. If she gives you silence, answer with stillness. If she pulls away, don't follow. Stand tall. Let her miss you. Let her wonder. Let her feel the loss of a man who knew his worth. Because the moment you stop trying to win her, you start winning yourself. And that, brother, is when she comes back chasing the man who never needed to chase her at all. End of script. Now go live with calm power and become the story she never gets to finish.